Welcome to 3-Act Structure Explained, where we prove that every movie is secretly the same movie. This time, we're looking at the MCU Fantastic Four. Ready, go. To introduce us to this new world, new universe, and new characters, the Act 1 setup begins with a TV show montage showing us how the Fantastic Four got their powers and how they've saved the world from countless supervillains and disasters. Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben are a happy family who love each other and work well together. But they're not perfect people. In particular, Reed. When Sue tells him she's pregnant, he immediately spirals and tries to figure out the best and most optimal way to raise a maybe superpowered baby. Through this, we're shown how Reed always puts the world on his shoulders. He thinks that because he's super smart, he has to figure out the solution to every problem by himself.
Obviously, we're gonna need protocols to account for our cell mutations, monitor for further cosmic effects.
Reed, we can do this.
The inciting incident is when the Silver Surfer flies down from space and announces that the Earth is the next meal for a giant space entity called Galactus. For the first time ever, the world isn't sure if the Fantastic Four is strong enough to save them. In Act 2, the team takes their ship and flies out to meet Galactus, to fight, negotiate, do whatever it takes to get him to leave Earth alone. Galactus says he senses that their baby is powerful, really powerful, and he'll spare the Earth if he can have the baby.
I will spare your world in exchange for the boy.
What?
They say no, and in the midpoint action scene, they barely escape Galactus and the Surfer with their lives. Sue goes into labor while they're running away, because of course she does, and gives birth to their baby, Franklin. When they get back to Earth, they tell the public about Galactus' deal.
He asked for our child. We said no, obviously. We said no.
Which, why did he say that? He could have just not mentioned it. This turns the public against them, with tons of people calling for Sue and Reed to sacrifice their baby. Part of Reed considers it, which horrifies Sue. Reed is still trying to solve every problem analytically, without understanding that approach isn't always helpful.
It means you've rolled it around your head and you work the problem.
Which means nothing. It is my job to think terrible things so that terrible things don't happen.
It's not your job, Reed. That's you.
Okay.
With a speech from Sue, everyone realizes that sacrificing a baby would be wrong, so they have to find another way. Reed designs a method to teleport the Earth to another solar system where Galactus can't find them, and the entire world population works together to build this machine. Back when the Silver Surfer first showed up, Johnny flew out to talk to her, and she said something to him in her native language. So throughout Act 2 in the B-plot, Johnny works on translating her language to understand who she is and where she comes from. But nobody really pays attention to him, because he's just dumb Johnny. He's not smart like Reed. In the C-plot, Ben meets and flirts with a schoolteacher named Rachel, but he's not sure if they can ever really be together because of the way he looks. This plotline doesn't really go anywhere though, and I would guess a lot of it was left on the cutting room floor. The world builds their teleportation machines, but the all is lost moment comes when, minutes before it's about to turn on, the Silver Surfer flies in and destroys all but one of them. Reed's master plan, Earth's last hope, is ruined. But Johnny confronts her and reveals that he can speak her language and knows who she is. She's only working for Galactus in exchange for sparing her own planet.
When Galactus came, you offered to serve as his scout if he'd spare your planet. Was it to spare your family?
Just trying to save my world, you know. Like you did.
She gets overwhelmed by guilt and leaves, leaving one teleporter still working. So Reed comes up with one more plan. They lure Galactus to Earth with Franklin as bait, and in the climax, they work as a team to fight Galactus and push him into the teleporter. It takes everything they've got, and Sue is pushed to the breaking point. Johnny almost sacrifices himself to push Galactus through the portal, but the Silver Surfer pushes him out of the way to sacrifice herself instead. Sue died from all the effort it took to hold Galactus, but baby Franklin uses whatever powers he has for the first time to bring her back to life. In the resolution, the Fantastic Five are back to saving the Earth every other week with a stronger family bond than ever.
Hold the slack, it's red through!
I can't feel my hands. You from the left, you from above. 3, 2, 1.
So, what did the characters learn from this? And what can we learn? Here are the major themes of the story. Teamwork. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting alone, like Reed thinks he has to. Other people can help. Share the burden. Sacrifice. It's wrong to do calculus with human lives to let some die so others can live. Especially when one is a baby with no say in the matter. The only morally correct choice is for you to sacrifice yourself. And parenthood. Nothing is harder than raising a child and making choices to give them the best life possible. But it's also the most important and rewarding thing a parent can do.
He wanted us to be together because that's what family is. It's about fighting for something bigger than yourself. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
Click the card on the left to see how another movie follows 3-act structure. Click the card on the right for a full explanation of what 3-act structure is and how it works. Subscribe if you like these videos and want to see more. And leave a comment if there's a movie you want to see the channel talk about next.